What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and this is your sort of transfer update for today. A lot's happened, a lot of big news, really. Everton have been linked with several players today. Gana, we'll talk about that in a minute. Dele Alli, Loftus-Cheek, the incoming of Ashley Barry or Paul Clement as Frank Lampard's assistant, and Frank Lampard himself, who still to this moment hasn't been announced. You can bet your bottom dollar tomorrow it'll be Frank Lampard that gets announced first. Half an hour to an hour later, it'll be Donny van de Beek, who signed from Manchester United on a 6-month loan deal. And then it'll be who else comes in. Rumours are it could be up to 4 players tomorrow. I'm assuming Donny van de Beek is one of those players. And equally, we've got some people that we'd like to get off our books. You know, Alex Iwobi, Gabarmin, one of, if not both, Mason Holgate and Michael Keane, if we can bring in another centre-half or two. John Joe Kenny, Andre Gomez, maybe, if the offer's right. So, you know, there's a few potential outgoings as well for Everton tomorrow, and I suspect it could be a busy day. Something that Bill Kenwright can deal with. You know, he's dealt with these things before in the past when he wasn't director of football. So he knows what he's doing in terms of the transfers and the transfer market, and he does have decent relationships, irrespective of what we as fans think. You know, he does seem to have this knack with transfers. So let's just get into it where we stand at the minute. Frank Lampard is the Everton manager. It's a done deal. He signed a 2.5-year deal. However, it's not being announced. It'll be because tomorrow's a big day of announcements. It'll be sort of like a step forward for Everton. They're building it up. They're trying to make it all absolutely fantastic, which is great. If you're wondering about the quality of this video, my phone's broke, so the camera's not working. So we're on the tablet, which isn't a bad tablet. It's a Samsung Tab S7, but I don't know what the quality's like until it comes out. So apologies if it's not up to scratch, guys. In terms of deadline day, there'll be 4 videos. There'll be one in the morning, one at lunchtime, one at about 6 to half 6, and there'll be one after deadline day, which will most likely be recorded in the car. It's going to be a really exciting day, and I will try and keep everyone updated as best as I can throughout. Make sure you keep an eye on my Instagram and Twitter, because I'm going to be all over them. So let's talk about it. Frank Lampard comes in, and he's sorting out his coaching staff, and there's some great people coming in. Paul Clement, number 2 to Carlo Ancelotti at 4 of his clubs. Managed Swansea, didn't have a great time, but managed to sign Swansea Renato Sanchez, if you remember, who didn't have a great season, but they managed to pull Renato Sanchez. Paul Clement will be a fantastic number 2. It's just what happens with Duncan. I think a lot of Everton fans might feel a bit upset about whatever may happen with Duncan. We don't really know, but if it's with Everton, that's great. If it's not, I wish him the best. Go and get experience and smash the Premier League in 3 or 4 years, because he deserves it. He deserves every chance he gets. And yes, people will say he's 50, but he's inexperienced in terms of management. So he's not going to be a dinosaur if he learns new things. So you've got to give him that chance, in my opinion, anyway. So, anyway, let's get on to our signing today, or the one that's done. Donny van de Beek. As soon as Lampard had his interview yesterday, he gave a list of players that he thought would help and benefit Everton Football Club. As soon as he left, we all understand, because it's been reported everywhere, that he got straight on the blower to whoever at Manchester United, and there was a call with Donny van de Beek, which essentially twisted his arm from Crystal Palace to Everton. It was difficult because Dennis Bergkamp is a massive friend of Patrick Vieira, but equally, I think he works as the director of football at Ajax, so knows him and managed to put a word in, and somehow he's chose Everton over his friend at Crystal Palace. So really positive, and Frank's done a really good job there attracting him. He's 24 years old. He comes in. He scored a couple of goals for Manchester United this season. Scored in the game where Solskjaer, funny enough, got sacked. He knows where the net is. He's a creative footballer. From all the Manchester United fans I've spoken to today, they speak really highly of him. He's got everything. He's got a little bit of skill in the locker. He does have that yard of pace, but it's usually just a burst to get around someone. It's not necessarily running at full tilt, and he's got that little pass in his locker as well. So, you know, a decent addition for Everton. And if he's coming in as a 10, I'd be surprised, but he's probably coming in as an 8, which means our midfield completely changes because Allen, Doucouré, Van der Beek. One criticism of that Everton side is, you know, they're playing 3 in the middle at times. We don't know what it's like because we haven't done it. So playing the 3 at times, we're not going to know how quick we're going to be able to get the ball forward. And what happens with Allen and Doucouré here, you know, we've been linked with other players like Gana, like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, like Dele Alli. What happens to our midfield? Like, I just, it's going to be an interesting dynamic, but adding quality to any side is going to help. And I think Van der Beek does tick that box. A lot of people are saying it's Klaassen 2.0, and I did a video not long ago saying he was compared to Davy Klaassen. So we've got to hope that he's not. We've got to hope that he comes in, hits the ground running, and does well. I always have this apprehension with players that come in for 6 months because they might do an Andre Gomez, play absolutely sensationally for 6 months, and then shit the bed and not be good enough. And Andre Gomez, for the best part of his Everton career, has not been good enough. Even before his leg break, he was pants. So I think that is it's a bit of a warning sign, if you get what I mean, for me. But I'm hoping he does it great for 6 months. And he puts us in that difficult position, you know, asking him that question in the summer. Would you like to sign for Everton? You cost a lot of money. Would you like to sign for Everton? If so, are you going to be able to play at the levels we've just had you on loan? That's a great conversation to have, at least. Other players, as I said, that we should keep an eye out tomorrow. Dele Alli's been linked with a move to Everton a few times. Rumours are between 15 to 20 million would secure his services. A guy that hasn't played well really for 18 months, but when he does play well, we know how good he can be. Very creative, number 10 at times. Does have the ability to beat a man and carry the ball as well. Can link up play. I think the only criticism of Dele Alli is he can be lazy at times, I would say. But all in all, if he comes in and he gives that second spark of life, then fair enough. Because it can't be alone. Because we shit the bed with El Ghazi. Mashiri decided to pull the trigger on El Ghazi, and that has fundamentally lost us a loan position, because I really don't think El Ghazi is going to play much. I actually, it would make me laugh if tomorrow you found out the loan was terminated or something. It really would make me laugh. Other players being linked with a move tomorrow, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, a player that I admire massively. Matisse come on the channel and spoke about him as well. He's the sort of player that really could kick Everton on in midfield. He's that ball-carrying, strong centre midfielder who can do everything. He can score a goal, he can pass, he can create, he can defend, he's solid. His injury record isn't great, but you know, where Everton's position are, it would be better to have him for 14 games out of 19 than have a midfield that doesn't do anything at the minute, like ours appears to not be able to cope with anything. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I think, would be a fantastic signing if that could happen. And I'd be all over it. He's still young. I didn't realise how young Ruben Loftus-Cheek still was. So he could walk into that Everton side. So I'm all over that. Another signing that has been linked is the return of Gana, and this is a signing that we could make on loan. I believe that we can loan. I'm sure there's a few more rules around foreign, signatures, etc. So we've made our 2 Premier League ones in El Ghazi and Donny van der Beek, and we could go and get some abroad signings. Gana fits the bill. I don't think he's playing every week for PSG, but he does play. He's still very combative, quick, defensive midfielder. And if he could just pop that ball off, win the ball, pop it off to Van der Beek and get us on that attack, our pace of Demarai Gray, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin will hurt teams. So I'm all for him coming in on a little 6-month loan as well. Maybe with a cheeky option to buy for like 5 million just because of his age, but I'm all up for it. I'm all over Gana coming back, so that would be a real positive one for me. And then you look at some of the other players who we've been linked with. We have been linked with Jesse Lingard. I think we could probably get him on a deal of some sort. Yeah, he seems to just be sitting there at Manchester United, which is mad. But you know, if he is available, I'm sure Everton would consider taking a punt at him, and we will see. It's going to be a really, really interesting deadline day. There's lots of players in that Everton team that you think could leave as well. Mason Holgate was getting interest from Brighton and Newcastle. Newcastle have approached Brighton for Burn, I think it is. So I could see Holgate going to Brighton tomorrow with a fee. 10-12 million quid. Gives us a bit of flexibility in the window. Then you've got Michael Keane. He's another one that could be out. Gives us a bit more flexibility. Andre Gomez, Jean-Philippe Gbamin, Iwobi, Tosin, if you can get him a club somewhere. There's a few options. John Joe Kenny. There's a few players that could genuinely leave tomorrow, and you know, whether it be a loan or a permanent deal. There is a bit of money floating around the Premier League at the minute. Southampton have got new buyers. Burnley appear to have a bit of money to spend. Newcastle obviously do have money to spend. So there is money in the Premier League. You know, rumours were Vlahovic was linked with Arsenal for £50 million. They're going to have some money. I'm not saying they'd be interesting players, but there's going to be some interesting stuff happening tomorrow, and it wouldn't surprise me if you saw an Andre Gomez go out the door on a deal to someone like Wolves, for example. So busy day tomorrow. But guys, make sure you tune in, and bless me, it's not COVID. And I'll see you soon, guys. Enjoy the video. Peace. I don't know where the fucking camera is on these things here, anyhow. Peace.